Back with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. Earlier we were talking about gas prices and how they seem to be coming down in the Springfield metro area, about $3.70. That's down from where it was yesterday. It's down from where it was last week, but compared to last year, it's still up. Statewide, I think the average is about $4 a gallon, but we're looking at about $3.70 here. Something that hasn't seemed to really come back down after rocketing up is diesel fuel. So if you've got a diesel engine, you're definitely feeling the pain at the pump. If you've got a big rig you got to fill up, you're definitely feeling the pain at the pump. And to talk more about that and about diesel availability is Don Schaefer with Midwest Truckers Association. Don, it's always good to see you and hear from you. This is an issue you guys are dealing with.
You know, Greg, it's been an issue. It's been around, but I mean, if you compare, diesel fuel prices right now compared to last year at this time, it's up about $1.70 a gallon. Diesel price and the U.S. Department of Energy releases their diesel price survey results every Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock. So everyone sits around and waits for it. But last Monday, the average price for diesel fuel in the Midwest was $5.32 a gallon. $5.32 a gallon. Right on the national average, same thing across the country. It's a little bit cheaper down in the South, but it's and it's a lot more expensive out in California, where California diesel prices are easily over $6 a gallon.
Oh my gosh!
So it's not a cheap endeavor at all.
Well, and this is something that impacts consumers all up and down the line, from the manufacturers that needs things to finish manufacturing their product to somebody who's waiting for that package to come in from Amazon. This impacts consumers all up and down the line. How do you think that's going to be impacting the holiday travel season and people out shopping and seeing inflation?
Well, as you said, inflation. If there's anything that contributes to inflation is energy cost. And what we're seeing, of course, is that you're seeing, a 30% increase in your energy cost in 1 year. Obviously, it's going to have an effect. Trucking companies, for example, have to put a fuel surcharge on their price for moving goods and services, which then is passed through to the consumer. So they're going to pay for it. All the stuff at the grocery store has a higher cost related to transportation. Stuff you go to the mall, you buy stuff at the stores, the same thing. It's got to be moved by truck, so the costs are going to go up. And that's the hard reality of this inflationary upcreep that we've seen, in the last couple of months.
Don, something else I wanted to talk to you about. It's not just the price of diesel fuel impacting inflation and the cost of things, but it's also diesel availability. We've been hearing for weeks now headlines of, there's 30 days of diesel availability across the country. There's 28 days now. Why is this significant? Why does this matter? And are we seeing historic trends going in the wrong direction?
Well, what we're seeing right now is it's a seasonal trend where the supply kind of gets a little bit tighter. However, it's interesting that the U.S. Department of Energy in their latest report says, hey, we've got a 27-day supply of fuel, and they call it vulnerably stable. And that's an oxymoron if I've ever heard it. But the fact is that, demand is up, supplies are down. We've had issues with a couple of refineries that all they do is produce diesel fuel, and they've been shut down. They're coming back up. So the big thing is that, we've got, refineries here in Illinois, Louisiana, Texas, all that have been down are now coming back up. The question is, how fast can they come up? Because diesel fuel demand is up. Heating oil, which is not a big issue for us here in the Midwest, but heating oil is the number one heating source in the East Coast. And so,
and you look at Buffalo just getting 6 feet of snow.
There you go.
And that seems like it's going to be sticking around for a bit. Obviously, these are things that are going to be increasing cost. But what's it look like for the future? Do we get projections looking forward? Are we going to run out of diesel fuel?
No, they said, the EIA, Energy Information Administration of DOE, says, hey, no, we aren't going to run out, but it's going to be expensive. So they said diesel prices, they'll stay above $5, for the rest of the winter. Gasoline prices, they'll stay up. Heating oil prices will go up even more. So, and I think heating oil, I think they're saying, 45% increase in the price for heating oil. So, count our blessings maybe. We're a little bit luckier here in the Midwest when it comes to what we burn to keep our house warm, but our cost to put stuff in our trucks and cars are going to stay up.
Don Schaefer with us. He is with Midwest Truckers Association talking about diesel availability, the price of diesel, and its impacts on inflation, especially with a big travel season coming up here for Thanksgiving and everybody heading out to the stores. Of course, to get things into those stores, likely it's on freight. It's on these big rigs and freight trains as well, and cost of energy impacting them across the board, which trickles down to you, the consumer. But Don, we hear a lot about biodiesel. Is that providing any kind of respite for the overall price, and is that a path moving forward?
Well, biodiesel is one of many options that are out there. Biodiesel is prevalent. We see a lot of it during the warm weather. A lot of truckers don't like to use biodiesel in the wintertime just because there's issues with performance. But biodiesel has really filled in the space, provide an alternate source. Trucking right now, we're looking at a lot of sources. We're looking at hydrogen. They're looking at Tesla trucks. The Tesla trucks, run are electric, and there's a lot of technology, and it's moving a lot faster than anyone ever thought it would. Same thing with electric cars. Who would have ever thought that General Motors would be saying by this date we're going to have 50% of our fleet is going to be electric cars. Truck manufacturers are coming back and saying the same thing. I was at a meeting over the weekend up in Chicago, and it was a school board convention. And what did they show? Electric school buses. They're getting away from the diesel school buses, and they're looking at electric. They work great because you know why? Because they operate in a very close radius. You go back to the same place every night, you plug them back in, and they come back out. So the kids aren't sucking up, diesel fuel. And that makes it, it's a good public policy. And it's probably also, we know it's good for the environment.
Don, we'll definitely be talking about these and other things in the future, no question. Greatly appreciate you taking the time with us today. And happy Thanksgiving.
Always. All right. That turkey may be a little bit more expensive, but it's good.
Most expensive Thanksgiving in history, thanks to historic inflation. But thanks to everything you guys do at Midwest Truckers Association, representing those who get the goods to where they need to go. So appreciate it. We'll talk soon, okay?
Sounds good.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WM.